Hello again, YouTube. This is Tempest CFV. I am incredibly excited to show you a brand new deck profile. This deck's been around since the game basically came out in English, and I just now got time to building it. Basically, what happened was I had a friend who's interested in my Megatsu Storm deck, and he had tried to make this deck and make it work, but the way he was playing it was just like made me cringe. It was very cringy worthy. So I decided to. He asked if I would trade my Megatsu deck for it, and I was like, yes, please. And I basically wanted to give this deck a new home. It's so good, and he's just seeing how the way he was playing it made me cringe. So I know that sounds really bad, but like in all seriousness, if you're playing this deck badly, there's something seriously wrong. This deck is not that hard to play. And the deck, of course, is Spectral Duke Dragon. Yes, it is the best, one of the best decks in Vanguard right now. The build is not Dukes a lot like you probably would expect. I have a friend by the name of I don't know if you'd call him a friend, but he's someone else in my community, my local community, name of Otsu from Stand Up the Vanguard. He has this deck, the Dukes a lot deck, and it's very good. I think Zach Sag also built it. Um, you can look up builds for it on their channels. This is a standard Duke deck with some techs of mine. I'll also be doing a Pelennor deck profile in a later video. I tried to play Pelennor in this deck, it did not work very well. But yeah, so I will just show you the deck list for this. It's not very out of the ordinary. It's actually pretty standard with some nice text of my own that I like. We're starting with the starter for Duke, obviously. We are playing the ride chain. It's possible to play Duke without the ride chain, but the ride chain is nice for the pluses it gives and for us making Duke a 10k boost. Or not a 10k boost, an 11k, I'm sorry. For triggers, we're playing 8 crit. I don't feel the need to play 7 crit, because of another card I'm playing. Just the deck gives me enough pluses with its the deck gives me enough pluses with its effects. That I don't feel the need to run more than 4 draw. So I'm gonna try and max the amount of crits I can play. We are playing 4 draw, because 12 crit is not enough in this deck. Like, you want to have the draw power from the draws. You may notice I'm playing 3 Falcon Knights. Falcon Knight lets you give 2k to a unit when it's superior called. It's not an amazing card, but if you get it off, it's decent. And it still swings for 16k when you end up with a Gigantic Destroyer, so it's not incredibly bad. Then we have 4 heal triggers. I contemplated playing stands in here, but this isn't really a deck to do it since you sacrifice regards so often. So yeah, stands are kind of useless in Duke. For grade 1s, you got your 4 of the ride chain, 7k booster on rear guard, so pretty nice. 3 Gareth. I'm only playing 3 because I don't have space for 3, and I'm also playing 1 Slagle Dagger. I think Brandon Smith played Slagle Dagger in his deck that he won World Championships with. And so my friend started playing it, and I'm like, this is an interesting card. I think maybe I'll play it too. And it really is interesting. If you have 4 more other Gold Paladin rear guards, when he's on Vanguard and rear guard, you can counterblast 1 and he gains 2k power. So what you can do is you can team him up with a Major Calamity Trip, and then that'll be 18k with his skill, and then if he hits a over cross ride, you can unflip the trip. You can also pay 1 to team him up with Gigantic Destroyer. That'll help him swing for 21 over Vanguard. The problem is it does cost counterblast 1, which means it can take away from your Duke's ability, but you should need to use Duke more once a game, ideally. So it's not always necessary, but it's good to have. I'm thinking about maybe taking it out, but it's a decent tech, and it's a 7k booster, so it's about as good as a Gareth anyway. 1 Dindrain, 1 Silver Fang Witch. Basically, these two have the same purpose. You Soul Blast when they're placed in regard to draw. Dindrain only works when she's superior called from the deck, and then Silver Fang works when she's superior called from anywhere. And then usually you just sacrifice them later with Duke or something. Yeah, they're pretty good. I would rather have second Dindrain than the Silver Fang in this deck, but it works. And then last we have 4 perfect guards, because it's break guard format, you need to play 4 of these now. You do not have a choice. Okay, for grade 2s, we're playing 4 of the ride chain. Not really any option here. You kind of gotta play the rest of the ride chain to make Duke work. 3 Vivian, mainly because I only have space for 3. It's a good card. When she hits, you pay 1, and then you Spirit Call top card every deck. Helps with your pluses, and helps you scale your field effectively. And then my last 4 grade 2s are all attacks. We're playing 2 Locker Shooter. When she's, or he, or rather, whatever, it's Spirit Called to rear guard from deck. You discard a card, check top 3, and Spirit Call another one. Not exactly consistent, but if you do hit it off one of the ride chain, it can really help you scale your field. He's one of the reasons I'm not playing the 5th draw trigger, because this with pluses is just so nice. And the last 2 cards are Blaster Dark Spirit and Blaster Blade Spirit. When they're called from deck, Blaster Blade lets you counterblast 1 to kill your opponent's grade 2 or higher in the front row. Blaster Dark lets you counterblast 1 to kill your opponent's grade 2 or lower in the front row. So if your opponent has any grade 1 or 2s, you can call Dark and kill them. If they have grade 2s and 3s, you call Blade and kill them. They're both 10k bases, which means if you're forced to ride them, they're good defensively. The one downside is that whenever they're attacked, they die immediately, no matter how much you guard. So, I don't know if I play any more than just 1 of each. They're really cool, and they're good if you can get them off the ride chains, because you can kill their early attackers. But besides from that, they're not amazing. But I would play them at 2 because they're good tech choices. And basically what they do is, instead of playing Bowmans, I'm playing these because they're both 10ks, and they're 10k rides if you don't have the ride chain. So, yeah, pretty decent cards. Alright, and then finally we have grade 3s. We have 4 Duke. Very obvious. Duke lets you counterblast 2 and sack 3 rear guards after he attacks to stand him, and then he loses Twin Drive. So he's basically the whole point of this deck, a self-standing Vanguard. And then, you know, I don't know what to say. It's just Duke. You play the deck because Duke is amazing. He's pretty good. Yeah. Alright, and then for other grade 3s, I'm playing 2 Garmor because it's a decent tech choice. In the event that I don't draw Duke, I want to be able to have a backup. Garmor is actually a really good backup, and he's the other reason I don't play draws in here. When you ride Garmor, you pay 2, and then you Spirit Call another Gold Paladin from your deck. So 9 times out of 10, I will be calling Locker Shooter, and then I'll use Locker skill to drop a card and get another card, which is usually 1 for 1 for 1. But if I have extra triggers in my hand, I can drop a trigger and then commit another grade 1 or 2 to the field that I didn't have already. So yeah, he can really help with that. He can also help me search Din Drain or Silverfang Witch and give me a free card. So yeah, basically all in all, he's a decent, you know, all-around good card if you don't have Duke. And then what you can also do with him is you can ride him first and then ride Duke later. It misses the effect of the grade 2 of the ride chain, but it also lets you get a free counterblast before limit break. And then the last card is 2 Gigantic Destroyer. It's a decent rear guard. It swings for 12. That's about all it is. I did try playing Pelennor in here, because if you hit Pelennor off of the grade 1 of the ride chain, when you ride the grade 2, then you can get an early Twin Drive in. But it's really situational, and there's not much Pellennor's limit break does for the deck, because you have to force 2 units back to your deck. And Duke basically stacks 3, so it's kind of the same thing. But Duke being able to stand himself tends to be better than Pelennor getting 5k to 2 units. So, like I said before, I will be posting another deck profile for Pelennor later, since I do have 4 now. But yeah, that's my list for Duke. Hope you liked it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please be sure to comment. If you liked the video, please be sure to rate and subscribe if you want to see more. Yeah, thanks for watching.